What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Monday, February 24th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight. We're also going to take a look at some of the biggest college basketball games on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure to check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Sunday, guys, went okay. We got up to a great start with St. John's -4.5. We felt really good about that spot for them, and they came through for us with a comfortable win and cover. We followed that up with Temple +9.5. They got absolutely destroyed. A poor showing by, a very good offensive team. We had Xavier -8.5. That was a tough one, guys. They ended up winning that game, but they only won by 7 after having, plenty of chances to win that game comfortably. So that was an annoying one, but we followed it up with a nice win on the nightcap, guys. We had Rutgers -2.5. They got a nice 10-point win at home there against USC. So good stuff for Rutgers, but for us, a 2-2 day. So obviously not exactly what we had in mind, but we keep right on going, guys. We're looking for a big day, and we feel very confident that it is coming up very soon. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck. It shows support for the channel and all the hard work we put in every single day. And once we get to 1,000 likes on one of these videos, we're giving away another Stump the Spread hoodie. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. Once we get to 50,000 subscribers, which we're getting there pretty quick, we will be giving away another hoodie. You can now sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. Also, guys, we're going to be doing a monthly hoodie giveaway to exclusively our channel members. So get signed up if you want to get in on the hoodie giveaway for March. I really appreciate the support from all of those channel members, and I'm trying to do something to give back to you guys that's, a little bit nicer than just, you get a little bit of early access to our videos. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NBA, college basketball, UFC, NHL, and we've got MLB right around the corner. Click the link in the description to head over there and check us out. If you aren't sure if a premium pick package is right for you right now, just try us out by signing up for our free email list. That'll get you updates on our results and free picks straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today. We'll give you our best advice on all of them. We're committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the night. We've got the LA Clippers going on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons. The Clippers come into this game 31-25 on the season, but fresh off of a pretty weak appearance there at the Pacers, guys. They ended up losing that game 129-111. We saw Halliburton actually have a pretty good game against them, which is, I'm not going to say it's embarrassing necessarily, but he hasn't had the best season, so you would have hoped they could have slowed them down a little bit. We saw James Harden go off for 31. Zubac had 22, but yeah, Coffee, he was the third leading scorer there with 14. Nothing great coming off the bench. Obviously, they weren't at full strength for this game. No Norman Powell, no Kawhi Leonard. So once they get back to full strength, this team could be a bit dangerous. They were hoping to get a little boost there from guys, like Ben Simmons, Bogdanovic. But yeah, Bogdanovic did have 11 points, but was only 1 of 8 from 3. He continues to really struggle with that jump shot. The Clippers shot only 25% from 3 in this game. They got to the free throw line 33 times, but only managed to make 75% of them. They also had a terrible time there on the glass. So once we see these Clippers back at full strength, maybe it'll be a different story. Will they be at full strength for this game? Well, we'll have to see, guys. Over the last few games, they've lost 2 in a row now, losing to the Bucks and losing to the Pacers. This road trip really not looking amazing. This team really needs guys like Norman Powell to, take up a lot of the scoring burden. Harden putting up 31 is not something you can count on a nightly basis anymore. So we'll see if that dream can become a reality, guys. It feels like a bit of a big ask at this point. They're going on the road here to take on the Pistons, who they come into this game fresh off of a absolutely insane game there on Sunday, guys. They got the 148-143 win there against the Atlanta Hawks in a game where apparently both teams made some sort of pact to not play any defense. An insane amount of offense in that game. Well played there by the Pistons to eventually come away with the win. Cade, a monster 38-point game, so that looks good. We saw the Pistons shoot 50% from 3. We saw the Hawks shoot 46% from 3. Both teams shot over 50% from the field. Just a crazy offensively, just nobody was playing any defense, guys. What was this, an all-star game? This was absolutely bonkers out there. Pretty even stuff there on the boards. Nothing incredible. Really, this was just a huge Cade game. And of course, guys, Malik Beasley, another monster game off the bench. He played 34 minutes, 7 of 12 from the field, 6 of 10 from 3. Weirdly, only 4 of 8 there from the free throw line, but really just a monster game for him. He was a plus 15. We saw Cade was only a plus 6 in the game, so that's kind of wild to see. But yeah, a nice win there for the Pistons, who have been playing great here down the stretch. They've won their last, 6 in a row, so no drop off there after the All-Star break. Cade continues to put up insane numbers. I mean, nearly averaging 26 and 10, 10 assists. So yeah, crazy stuff there. This team has been playing great. There's just no way around it. They come into this game, guys, looking very healthy, so that's a big help. No starters even questionable for this game, so they're going to be good to go. For the Clippers injury report, guys, we see Norman Powell and Kawhi Leonard both still on the injury list. Ben Simmons, shocker of the century, is on there as well. Norman Powell, guys, with that knee issue, he did not play in that game against the Pacers. We don't have a ton of clarity if he's going to play in this next game. Could be a big deal. We're going to have to stay up to date on the news on him. Kawhi with his foot issue, he was ruled out for that game on Sunday as well. Will he be back for this one? Well, it's the second half of a back-to-back. I would say there's a good chance that we see both of these guys in this game, to be honest. And looking at the numbers here, well, I mean, I guess Ben Simmons, yeah, it sounds like injury management. He won't play in this game. We don't care about Ben Simmons, really. The Pistons actually 1-point favorites here, which that spread tells me the odds makers do not necessarily think that Norman Powell and Kawhi are going to play in this game. So that's definitely a concern. Pistons 1-point favorite, a total of 223. The Clippers 12-14 against the spread on the road, 4-7 against the spread on no rest. They're 13-11 against the spread after a loss, and they're 15-11-1 to the under when they're playing on the road. The Pistons 12-14-1 against the spread at home, 5-3-2 against the spread on no rest, so a pretty good no rest team. They're 14-14-2 against spread after win. They're 14-13 to the over when they're playing at home. Guys, I don't know for sure on this game, obviously, since there's so much injury news still up in the air, but I am leaning towards the Pistons here at home, assuming that the Clippers don't have, if they don't have Norman Powell and Kawhi, I like the Pistons here. If they do have Norman Powell and Kawhi, this number is going to move a bunch. Not sure how much it's going to move yet, and I'll definitely like the Clippers. So this is a wait-and-see spot, but definitely a game that's going to be very much on my radar. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Nuggets come into this game 37-20 on the year. They've been playing really well, but ran into a tough one there, guys, against the Lakers the last time out. They lost that game 123-100, so a 23-point loss. Doncic had a massive game, and so did LeBron. Yeah, Denver just couldn't do too much against them. I mean, Aaron Gordon put up 24 points. We saw Jokic have, a very unusual, really bad game. 12 points, 10 assists, 13 rebounds. So a triple-double, but he also had 6 turnovers and just could not get it going. Jamal Murray had 19 points, but yeah, Russell Westbrook even played well off the bench, but it was just a bad night out there for the Nuggets. They just had no answers there for LeBron and Luka, and that's not something I think is going to happen, forever here, but when they both get it going, things all of a sudden look very scary for anybody the Lakers are facing. So Denver certainly in a bounce back spot. I mean, like I said, Westbrook played well. It's good for them to have him back, no doubt about that. Jamal Murray continues to put up some good numbers, and Jokic, I mean, he did play 35 minutes, but not the most high intensity 35 minutes ever. So I'm not in panic mode right now for Denver, coming off one loss after winning, like 8 or 9 in a row, something like that. Like, they'd been playing great. You had 9-game winning streak there is what they had, and this is a good team, guys. There's no doubt about it. They come into this game looking pretty healthy. We do see Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon both on the injury report, but their status, guys, I mean, yeah, Murray probable there, Aaron Gordon also probable, so this should be a full-strength team, and they're definitely in a bounce-back spot here, so we'll see what they can do on the road against a Pacers team that's playing on no rest here, guys. The Pacers played last night against the Clippers, and they got that 129-111 win. Halliburton, 16th double-double of the year. That's where we're at with Halliburton now, guys. I mean, it's a points and assists double-double. He had 29 points and 12 assists. Like, that's a good night, don't get me wrong. But it was not against the full-strength Clippers. The Pacers have looked better here down the stretch in this win. They shot 55%, well, almost 55% from the field. All starters scored in double figures. We saw good stuff from Obi Toppin off the bench, good stuff from TJ McConnell off the bench. They shot 25 of 27 from the free throw line, which is nice. They also did a pretty good job shooting the ball in general. They dominated the boards in this game, which is a big deal. So they're going to be hoping to carry that over here against a very good Nuggets team. The Pacers come into this one pretty much fully healthy. I mean, we see TJ McConnell there on the injury report already. Yeah, he didn't come back from the... Oh, yeah, he rolled his ankle in that game. I forgot. Yeah, he had a right ankle sprain. There's almost no shot TJ McConnell plays in this game. So that's definitely a little bit of a shot there to that bench, which is a very good Pacers bench. Don't get me wrong, but the Nuggets bench isn't looking terrible now at all. So we'll see what we get here from the Pacers, who have to be a little bit tired playing on back-to-back nights. Looking at the numbers here, the Pacers are getting 4 points at home. We've got a total of 246.5. Denver 13 and 15 against spread on the road, 9 and 10 against spread after a loss, 16 and 12 to the over when they're playing on the road. The Pacers 12, 12 and 1 against spread at home, only 2 and 6 against the spread on no rest this season. They're 14 and 17 against spread after win, and they're 16 and 9 to the over at home. If you wanted to take over 246.5, I guess you could. That's a pretty big number. I'm probably not going to be indulging in that, guys, but I think this is a great spot to be on the Denver Nuggets here in a bounce back situation. I don't think the Pacers are going to be able to do too much to slow down Jokic, who's in for a big bounce back game, and everybody else on the Nuggets has been playing well recently. I think they could be comfortable winning covering this one. If they won this game by 10 points, I would not be shocked at all. Next up, guys, we get the Chicago Bulls going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Bulls come into this game, guys, riding a 6-game losing streak. They just lost 121 to 117, a very close game there against the Suns, which honestly more embarrassing for the Suns than anything else. The Bulls, obviously not a team that's trying to compete right now. They're trying to tank it out the rest of the season, give themselves the best chance there in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Chicago, guys, I mean, they got 24 points from Josh Giddey. That's a positive development there. He almost had a triple-double in the game as well, so he's showing signs of being that guy that they could build this roster around a little bit. Lonzo Ball, a really tough day out there for him. Only 1 of 9 from the field. Brutal stuff there. Vujicic, guys, he missed, kind of a tough basket late there, and yeah, we'll see what we get from the squad down the stretch, but I'm not necessarily super high with anybody in particular that's on this roster at the moment. Chicago, just not a team that's had the kind of success you would have hoped for this year, and yeah, they haven't tried to get better. They've clearly been trying to get worse. We see Kobe White on the injury report, Sumu, Patrick Williams, Jalen Smith, all very likely out for this game. And we see Kobe White listed as probable with that ankle injury, and I don't think there's any reason they're going to be hustling him back either. So we'll see what goes on there. I do expect him to play here on the road against the 76ers, who are clearly the biggest disappointment in the NBA this season. There's just constant whining and complaining and just excuse after excuse out of Embiid. So we'll see what happens. If you're hurt, shut it down for the season. If you're not hurt, if you're going to play, shut up and actually try and play like you deserve half of the contracts you've been given, because it is looking brutal right now. They're fresh off a 105 to 103 loss against the Nets. It was a buzzer beater of a loss, but you should not be you shouldn't be a tied game at the end of regulation against the Brooklyn Nets. This is embarrassing for the 76ers, guys. I mean, they shot 25% from 3 in the game, 21 of 24 from the free throw line. Cool. Embiid not getting as many calls. He only shot 6 free throws in the game. He was 0 of 6 from 3. Maxey continues to just ball out. He put up 31 points. He's trying to drag this team along. Paul George, 40 minutes, shot the ball 10 times. He was a +3, scored 15 points. How is Paul George arguably worse than Tobias Harris? I don't know, guys, but it's crazy stuff. This bench is terrible. They lost despite having an edge there on the boards. This team is just terrible. It's the vibes are not good. Nothing is good right now for the Philadelphia 76ers. Looking at the injury report, guys, you're not going to be shocked to see Embiid and Maxey on there. Also, Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, Justin Edwards. They're all likely out for this game. Maxey being on the injury report is obviously a huge deal. He's questionable right now with a right finger sprain. So if all of a sudden his shot's not looking as good, that is a huge problem, because he is 80% of their offense, it feels like, and 90% of their creation, because Embiid is just looking like a mess out there, and he is consulting doctors and considering alternative options for his injured knee. What does that mean, guys? What the hell does that mean? To me, it means Embiid would really love to shut it down for the season. I think that's great. Do it. Shut him down for the season. Get him out of here. I'm tired of hearing the Joel Embiid news. It's getting real obnoxious, guys. Sorry you're hurt. That's rough, guy. But yeah, it's not doing a whole lot for me right now. So looking at the numbers for this game, the 76ers, 2.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 228. The Bulls, 12, 14, and 1 against spread on the road, 19 and 15 against spread after a loss. They are 14 and 13 to the under on the road. The 76ers are 9, 19, and 1 against spread at home. They are 10, 24, and 1 against spread after a loss. It's an NBA worst mark after a loss. And they're a 500 over-under team at home. Guys, give me the Chicago Bulls getting 2.5 points on the road here. I don't know if this one's going in the pinned comment, but I don't think Embiid's going to play in this game. I don't really care if he plays in this game. The 76ers are terrible. If Maxey is struggling a little bit with his shot because of his finger, I think the Bulls probably get the straight-up win here. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up for StumpTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our top confidence plays on all the major sports. We're currently covering NCAA basketball, the NBA, NHL, UFC, and the NFL. We have a team of professional cappers that work extremely hard putting in the research on these games every day so you don't have to. We make things very easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list, get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free account. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now guys, back to the games. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Brooklyn Nets. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Washington Wizards. The Nets come into this game 21-35 on the season, so doing some positive stuff. I mean, this is not a team that was expected to play well. They're trying to tank it out here, and it's not exactly working. They're currently only a half game back of the Chicago Bulls for the 10 seed out there in the East. So kind of interesting to see that. They're fresh off that 2-point buzzer beater win at the 76ers. We saw Cameron Johnson play really well. 23 points from him, 16 from Claxton. Zaire Williams played well. The bench played great. I mean, Wofford, a great game, 16 points there. Day'Ron Sharp, 10 points. They won despite shooting 25% from three in this game. They had a rebounding deficit. Like, this is not a team full of stars, guys, and they are figuring out how to make it work. They're not playing Cam Thomas. That could be a big boost for them, and I don't think they're interested in winning games. I think that's why he's sitting out, but we'll see here down the stretch what we actually get here from the Nets. But right now they're playing great. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They come into this game, fresh off a win. We see D'Angelo Russell, Cam Thomas, both unlikely to play in this game, but they didn't play in the last one. They still got the win. Yeah, Cam Thomas, he's officially been ruled out. So has D'Angelo Russell. So we'll see what the Brooklyn Nets do here on the road. They're not playing the toughest team, guys. They're taking on the Washington Wizards, who are 9-47 on the year. They're doing a great job of tanking things out. They just lost by 20 points at Orlando, and it was not a pretty one, guys. They gave up, a ton of points to Franz Wagner and Anthony Black. Like, nobody on the Wizards really having a very good time right now. I mean, in that, road loss. So Jordan Poole put up 16 points on 16 shots. Like, that's not exactly going to get the job done. We see Washington, guys, they come into this one. Middleton still on the injury report. Alex Sarr on the injury report. Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart. Like, these are a bunch of dudes that probably, except for Sarr, obviously, that aren't super, super excited about playing, in this uniform. So we'll see how things go. Middleton officially out. Sarr officially out. Malcolm Brogdon out. And Marcus Smart, officially out. So they're all officially out for this game. Going to be a skeleton crew there for the Wizards, who are not good. They're getting 3 points here at home. We've got a total of 213.5. Brooklyn, 19-9-1 against spread on the road. That's an NBA best mark on the road. They're 10-10 against spread after win. They're a slight under team on the road. Washington, 14-15 against spread at home. 2-7 against spread on no rest. 19-25-2 against spread after loss. And they're 17-12 to the over at home. Guys, I'm slamming it here on the Brooklyn Nets on the road. I think this team wants to win. I think they want these players at least, maybe not the franchise, but the players at least would really, really like to earn that play-in spot. Give me the Brooklyn Nets on the road in this one, no doubt about it. Next up, guys, you got the Miami Heat going on the road here to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Heat not having a great time, guys. They've lost 5 out of their last 6. Their lone win was that nice road win there against Toronto, but they followed that up with a 120-113 loss at the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, not a great look. Dame and Giannis both played great in that game against the Heat, and we were on the Bucks in that one, so thank you, Milwaukee, and thank you everybody except for Tyler Hero on the Heat. I mean, I don't know, we saw Bam have a massive game, Hero had a massive game, and even Wiggins put up 20 points, and it just wasn't enough. This team has very little production coming off the bench. They shot 29% from 3 in the loss. They did a good job on the boards. They actually had a rebounding edge, but the Heat just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like they have enough right now, even in games where they put up great numbers. Like, you're not going to get much better than a 40 spot out of Tyler Hero. Like, that's a pretty big game and just not enough to get this team over the top. They come into this one with the injury list looking pretty clean. I mean, Nikola Jovic is, still, he won't be back from this. Still dealing with that fracture right hand. He's not going to be back for, we don't even know when. So, going to be a few weeks at least. So, other than that, they are healthy here as they go on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks, who are fresh off of a pretty bad 148-143 loss there against the Pistons. Obviously, losing to the Pistons isn't necessarily bad, but I'm referring to the officiating being not so great. Not so great in that game. We saw some really weird officiating stuff over the weekend in the college ranks, and the NBA is not immune to that problem. In that loss against the Pistons, I mean, Trae Young put up 38 points, but it took him 24 shots, so a little bit inefficient there, but I'm not going to complain too much. Dyson Daniels was actually great. 24 points, 10 of 14 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3, and the Hawks shot 46, almost 47% from long range in that game. So do they have a bounce back in them from, obviously a pretty devastating defeat? Well, they're getting 1 point here at home. We've got a total of 226.5. Miami 11, 18, and 1 against spread on the road, 5 and 5 against spread on no rest, 14, 13, and 1 against spread after a loss. They're 16 and 15 to the under on the road. Atlanta 11 and 14 against spread at home, 5 and 6 against spread on no rest, 13 and 17 against spread after a loss, and they're 16 and 9 to the over at home. I don't know, guys. This is a tough one. I mean, the Hawks come into this game looking really, really healthy and ready to go, and the Heat are also healthy and ready to go. So this one does truly feel like a coin flip. I'm going to be leaning towards Atlanta here on the road just a little bit, but I don't know. The Heat are a tough out as well. So this game, I don't know. This is kind of a pick your own adventure. I don't have a huge lean either way. Next up, guys, we're going to take a look at the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is the second half of a home, a home and home series there. Right now, they're playing in Minnesota. Then they're going to be playing tomorrow in Oklahoma City. So definitely a weird travel spot. We see, both teams decent against the spread on no rest. We don't have that game is currently in the first quarter. We had to get this video out. We had to start recording now, unfortunately. But yeah, no numbers out for this one. No major lean as of now. Obviously, it matters a ton to us how game one of this little home and home series goes. In general, I'd be leaning a bit towards Oklahoma City. They're a very good home team. They're 18, 8, and 2 against spread at home. That's an NBA best against the spread mark. But without knowing what the number is and all that, we can't give you a big lean. So you're going to have to check on that pinned comment and see which way we end up going with this one. Next up, guys, we got the Portland Trailblazers going on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. The Trailblazers come into this game fresh off of an insanely huge blowout win there, the largest blowout victory in team history, taking down the Hornets 141-88. So yeah, that was a pretty wild game. I don't think you can really take too much away from a win like that. I mean, obviously the other team completely gave up pretty early on. 20 points there from Kamara, 15 from Danny Adjeva, 25 from Anthony Simons, 20 from two guys coming off the bench, and yeah, just Scoot put up 13, coming back and playing some limited minutes. They shot 47% from 3-point range. Like, it was an easy win, obviously against an opponent that quit, and we have liked what we've seen from Portland down the stretch of the season. I mean, losing it to teams like the Timberwolves, Nuggets, and the Lakers is kind of expected, but they've made some noise here down the stretch. They're 24 and 33 on the season. Not a team that's, completely out of the, the hunt for the play in there in the West, but I mean, I'm also not, they're 22, they're 5.5 games back. So they're pretty much out of it, but they've at least been trying. Obviously, losing DeAndre Ayton hurts. We'll see if he comes back this season, but right now, guys, it's looking like the Donovan Clingan show. He's done some good things, so I'm not too worried out there for Portland Trailblazers fans. This is a team that was designed to compete this season. If they, do end up competing this season, that's just a bonus. So yeah, I'm looking at what the Blazers are doing right now as something of a positive, being a competitive team. The Jazz are going the other way, guys. They're 14 and 42 on the year. They are fresh off of a crazy 124-115 win there against the Rockets, but this is not a team that's designed to be winning right now. And if they keep doing that, we're going to see some phantom injuries. We're going to see some guys getting benched because this is not what this franchise wants to be doing right now. They want to improve their draft stock as much as they possibly can. The dream scenario here for Utah is that they can add a guy like Cooper Flagg, and all of a sudden, they've got a real legitimate, I'm not going to say contender, but a real legitimate team. They couldn't throw the ball in the ocean from the free throw line. Neither team could. They were missing tons and tons of free throws in that game against Houston. But yeah, eventually you get a 9-point win. They'll definitely take it. 23 points there from Lauri Markkanen. He's starting to get more of his shots off with some injuries, taking the ball out of the hands of some guys that don't usually pass it to him too much. And Keontae George was the real hero of this game, guys. A +7, 30 points there off the bench. They dominated the boards in this game. A bunch of things happening here that I question whether it's possible that they happen in this next game here. I mean, even though they're at home, the Blazers have been playing pretty well. So the Jazz, guys, looking at the injury report here for them, by the way, they have lost 2 in a row before that, and now they get this win. Looking at the injury report, it is very, very crowded, guys. We got Colin Sexton on there, Markkanen's on there now, John Collins is on there, Walker Kessler is on there, and so is Jordan Clarkson. Colin Sexton, guys, with his ankle issue, he's been, resumed on-court activities. He could be getting close to return to action, but won't be reevaluated until early next week. So no Colin Sexton for this one. Markkanen, questionable with that lower back soreness. John Collins has been ruled out for this game. He will not play. Walker Kessler is questionable due to an illness. And we see Jordan Clarkson, guys, with his foot issue. He has been officially ruled out. So it's not going to be the full strength Jazz. That's why they're getting 2.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 231.5. Portland 14-12-1 against spread on the road, but they are 15-7-1 against spread after a win. A very good team after a win. They're also 16-10-1 to the under on the road. The Jazz 14-13 against spread at home, 8-5 against spread after a win. They're 14-12-1 to the over at home. Guys, I think this is a good spot to take the Portland Trailblazers. I think this is a team that definitely wants to win right now. I think the Jazz are headed in the opposite direction, at least in terms of, not the players themselves, but in terms of, what the front office wants to do. So give me the Blazers here at -2.5. I think this is a very good play. It's got a shot to end up in the pinned comment. In our last NBA game of the day, guys, we have the Charlotte Hornets going on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings. The Hornets come into this one 14-41 on the year, fresh off that historic blowout loss. Not a good look to be losing games by like 60 guys. I mean, we even saw pretty much everybody that was supposed to play played, like LaMelo Ball played, Miles Bridges played, Nick Smith Jr. played. This isn't a team with a ton of depth and not a ton of guys that, they're really trying to run out there. Nurkic probably wishes he would have just shut up and done what he was asked to do there in Phoenix, but he didn't do that. So, yeah, you're going to get stuck on teams like the Charlotte Hornets. They shot 15% from three. This is just a massive, massive bounce back spot, albeit for a team that has not had much success lately. They had that crazy win at the Lakers. They'll definitely take that one, but they've lost 5 out of their last 6. They're only 14-41 on the year. They are in major, major tank it out mode. So we'll see if they can turn things around at all in this one. Their depth chart looks relatively clear. I mean, Mark Williams, not a huge shot, guys. He's on the injury list with conditioning issues, apparently, so he's not going to play. And we see Daquan Jeffries also listed as out as they go on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings, who are a team that's headed in the wrong direction. They're now 28-28 on the season. They've lost 2 in a row, getting blown out by the Warriors after a tough loss against the Pelicans. Yeah, they got beaten by the Warriors, guys, in a game where Steph Curry only scored 20 points and was the 3rd leading scorer, or 4th leading scorer technically. I mean, Buddy Hield had 22, Moses Moody had 22, Podziemski had 21, Jimmy Butler had 17. The Warriors shot 47% from 3. Like, nothing good there coming from anybody besides DeRozan really there for the Kings. Like, congratulations, DeRozan. You got to shoot the ball 14 times. You went 10 of 10 from the free throw line. You scored 34 points. Your team lost by a ton. This Kings team has been a huge disappointment, a huge mistake. We'll see if they can reshape things here down the stretch, but it is not looking very good, guys. They're currently in the 10th seed. They're only 1.5 games up on the Suns. There's a chance we can see the Kings fall out of that 10 seed, although the Suns look terrible, so who knows which way that'll go. But right now, guys, it's not looking too hot. So we'll see what they can do here at home. They're, I don't know, guys. I mean, the injury report for the Kings, they're looking very healthy, but that hasn't helped recently. They're 10.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 229.5. Charlotte 13-12-1 against the spread on the road, 20-20 against spread after loss, 14-12 to the under on the road. The Kings 8-17-3 against the spread at home, 9-16-2 against spread after loss, and they're a significant over team. Guys, I'm actually leaning towards the Hornets here in the biggest possible bounce back spot. Getting 10.5 points seems like probably enough. They probably lose this game, but I think they keep it to single digits here. Not a play that's going anywhere near the pin comment, though, no matter what you try and do to me. Now, guys, let's switch it up here. We're going to head over and look at 4 of the biggest college basketball games on this kind of short, kind of middle of the road Monday slate out there in the NCAA. First up, guys, we got a nice game. We got North Carolina going on the road to take on Florida State out there in the ACC. The Tar Heels haven't exactly had a dream season. They're 17-11 on the year. They have won 3 in a row. They just got a nice blowout win there at home against Virginia. Now they've got to go on the road, though, and take on Florida State, a team that's been an interesting one this year. We'll say interesting for lack of a better descriptor, guys. The Tar Heels 10-6 in ACC play. Not looking that 10-6 doesn't look as good as it has looked in some other seasons out there in the ACC. It just hasn't been that tough of a conference. Obviously, getting a blowout win their last time out against Virginia looks good, but that's a team that's now below 500, so it's not exactly a premium win. We saw North Carolina shoot the lights out from 3. They did a good job from the free throw line. They dominated the boards in that game, but that's against a pretty bad team. And the last time they faced, we'll say, a decent team, if not an elite team, they got blown out by Clemson. They beat Pitt but only by 1. They lost to Pitt earlier in the season as well. They played a hell of a close, high-scoring game against Boston College. What can this team really expect to do? I mean, I haven't been very impressed with anything I've seen out of North Carolina this season. Their offensive numbers are good, but their defense is bad. Their rebounding is middle of the road, and Yeah, I don't really love any of their superstar talent. They're just not a very big team in general. So, what are they going to do on the road here in this conference game against the Florida State Seminoles, who are 16-11 on the season? They are 7-9 in conference play. They're fresh off a 8-point loss there at Louisville. They kept things pretty competitive there with a very good Louisville Cardinals team, and they were on the road for that one as well. Yeah, they just played a really good second half, honestly, like outscoring Louisville 50-44 in the second period. They shot only 23% from three. They can definitely do better than that. They didn't rebound the ball well at all. Those are both numbers that I think can improve significantly here against a team like North Carolina, especially since Florida State is going to be at home. Like, that's a pretty big deal, especially in college basketball. Looking at the numbers, I mean, Jameer Watkins, he's a monster. He's putting up very good scoring. This isn't a great rebounding team. Neither is their defense great, but their offense is good enough, and they've done some good things this season. They do have Duke on deck, so maybe this is a little bit of a look-ahead spot, so maybe that's some reason to be concerned, but Florida State getting 2.5 points at home. We've got a total of 156.5. North Carolina 2-7-1 against the spread on the road, 15-13 to the over. Florida State 9-5 against spread at home, 16-11 to the under. Guys, I don't think there's any way around it. I'm trusting the numbers here. I'm taking Florida State getting 2.5 points on their home floor against a North Carolina team that A, does not travel well, B, just doesn't look big enough to me, and C, doesn't really play any defense. Next up, guys, we're headed to the Big Ten. We've got the number 12 Michigan Wolverines going on the road to take on Nebraska. Michigan comes in this game 20-6 on the season, fresh off a disappointing showing and something of a rivalry game there, losing against number 14 Michigan State 75-62. Obviously, Nebraska, not the same caliber team as Michigan State, but yeah, it wasn't a great look there for Michigan. They got blown out in the second half, getting outscored 41-24 in the final period. Yeah, it wasn't great. They shot 5 of 21 from three. They didn't shoot the ball well from the free throw line. They got destroyed on the boards. Definitely a huge bounce back spot here for the Wolverines, a team that's supposed to be among the top teams in the nation and just did not look like it in that one. Over the course of the season, their numbers look very, very good, obviously, but how they look here on the road against a Nebraska team that's 17-10 on the year. They are 7-9 in conference play, so not terrible. They're in a bounce back spot after a terrible loss there at Penn State. They got blown away 89-72, so not a good look there. They've got some good wins on the resume, beating teams like Ohio State, Oregon, back when Oregon was ranked, Illinois, although that win is starting to lose a lot of its luster. A nice win against UCLA in the early goings, and they even managed, they did some good things. They did some good things in the early non-conference, too, like a win against Creighton. But we'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, Bryce Williams, a monster leading scorer, nearly 20 points per game. They're a very, very good offensive team. Not great on the boards, not necessarily an amazing defensive team either. So they're going to have to step it up for sure in this matchup. I don't think this is going to be any sort of easy game for them at all, especially, given that the Michigan Wolverines are definitely in a bounce back spot. So we'll see what goes on here. Nebraska 1.5 point favorites at home. We got a total of 150.5. Michigan 4-4 against spread on the road, 14-12 to the over. Nebraska 6-7 against spread at home, 14-13 to the over. Do I want to take over 150.5 in this game? I don't think that's a crazy lean at all. I could see the over hitting in this one fairly often, but I really think we just have to take Michigan and the points on the road here. I think they're too much better. I think this is a spot the odds makers are trying to get a little bit cute here. They're just begging you to take Michigan. Well, guys, if they're going to beg, I'm going to answer. Go ahead and give me the Michigan Wolverines here in this road spot. Next on the docket, guys, we've got by far the biggest game on the entire slate, guys. We've got number 5 Houston going on the road to take on number 9 Texas Tech. The Houston Cougars 23-4 on the season. They've got a legitimate case as one of the best couple teams in the entire nation. They're riding a 6-game winning streak coming in here, including a big win not last week, but was that a Saturday game, I believe, against number 8 Iowa State. They got the 68-59 win there. They blew out Arizona State the game before that. Got a close win over Arizona the game before that. Like, they are absolutely cruising right now. These Houston Cougars are no joke. They're the top team in the Big 12 by a considerable margin. Obviously, Texas Tech is the number 2 team, but they're the top dog, and there's a big reason for that. They are one of the most dominant defensive teams in the country, and it's crazy. They're giving up 57.7 points per game. The rebounding numbers and offensive numbers are very good, but it's that defense that really, really gets them over the line. It feels like in every single game. So we'll see how well that defense travels here, going on the road to take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who are a top 10 team in the nation. They're 9th in the NCAA. They're coming off a blowout win against West Virginia, avoiding the big look-ahead spot here, with Houston on the horizon. They could have took their foot off the gas, but but they did not do that, guys. A 73-51 win. They handled business very, very comfortably. It was a little bit closer in the first half, but they dominated in the second half, showing they're the far, far better team. They shot 40% from three. They did a very good job there on the boards, having a 10 rebound edge, and yeah, just really did exactly what you would want them to do. A couple 20+ point scores. JT Toppin looking very, very good. Christian Anderson also playing great. 5 of 8 from three for him, so a good shooting day. So we're loving what we're seeing from Texas Tech. Over the course of the season, they've put up very good offensive numbers, 30th in the nation. Their defense is also very good, out allowing only 66.5 points per game. The rebounding is also nice, and they're a team with good ball movement. So, yeah, a lot of things pointed in Texas Tech's direction, and that's why they're getting a 1.5 here at home. We've got a total of 132.5. Houston, though, they're 6-2 against spread on the road, 14-12-1 to the under. Texas Tech, 10-6 against spread at home. They're 14-12-1 to the over. This is a rough spot, guys. I can't wait to watch this game. Going to be a hell of a game. I'm going to be taking Houston on the road at -1.5. I just think they're the better team. I know Texas Tech has done some really, really good stuff, but when they've taken on some really, really tough defensive teams, like they lost at TCU, they lost at Arizona. I know these are road losses, but they played at Houston and they lost by only 1 point. That was a crazy, crazy game there, guys. I mean, we saw Texas Tech shoot 40% from three in that game. We saw, they saw the Red Raiders shoot a ton of free throws out there, and yeah, the rebounding was almost even. So this feels like it is a legitimate coin flip. It took overtime to decide the last one. This should be a barn burner of a game, but I think we see Houston get their revenge. Last but not least here, guys, we've got the nightcap between number 23 Kansas and Colorado. The Jayhawks come into this game fresh off a desperately needed 96-64 blowout win there against Oklahoma State, but Kansas has been having a bad season. Only 18-9 overall. They are 9-7 in conference play, way back from the leaders there. Hunter Dickinson, sure, whatever, as your leading scorer. This is a very good ball movement team. The rebounding is great, but the offensive numbers just are not there. Usually, obviously, they're coming off a 90+ point game, but you're not seeing that normally. They scored 57 at BYU the game before that. Like, that is not a good look. They did get the 71-59 win against Colorado earlier this season. That was when it was a home game there for Kansas. Will they be able to handle business like that again in this matchup? We'll have to see, guys, but it has been a brutal season for the Jayhawks. Not an easy one. And you could say the same thing for the Colorado Buffaloes, guys. They're 11-16 on the year. They're currently the last place team out there in the Big 12, so that has to feel bad. They have won 2 out of their last 3. They just got a shocking 76-74 upset win against Baylor. Now they got a chance to score another huge upset against an even better team, at least better in theory. So we'll see what they get done here. I mean, this team over the course of the year, their numbers haven't looked great at all, but maybe they've got a chance to, rebound a little bit again from a bad game against Kansas the first time. They shot only 17% from three-point range in that first game where they lost 59-71. Their rebounding numbers weren't great either. It's not like Kansas went nuts in that game and still managed to win by 12. So that is a bit concerning here. We see Colorado getting 6.5 points at home, a total of 140.5. Kansas, though, only 3-7 against spread on the road, 19-8 to the under. Colorado 8-8 against spread at home, 13-12-2 to the under. I'm probably not taking under 140.5 in this game, although I can understand why you would want to. It doesn't seem like a terrible spot, but I think Kansas, they're going to get another blowout win and cover here against a bad team. They'll probably win this game by around 10-12, and that's plenty to get the job done. I do worry here about the look-ahead spot, though. They've got Texas Tech, Houston, and Arizona coming up. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get to those 50,000 subscribers. Let's get to 1,000 likes on this video. I want to give away some more hoodies. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the link in the description. Get over to stumpthespread.com, get on that free email list, and check out our premium picks if you're interested. And we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.